forget all what is it. But anyway, and they say, but my metal stack up is actually 9. And then you say, okay, well, I have to then do some work to make it fit yours, your specific metal stack up, and that's custom work, but it's probably fine. There are other things that people think, well, I like your SerDes, it's all good, I can use it. You need to change the bump map because I have a different package design and I need to have it a different way. And then there's more work associated with that. So customization is expensive and very common, and it can kill you if you do too much of it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've heard people say like, oh, if you do one small change, it could take like, 1 minute of work you do now and changing could end up being like 3 minutes of, they call it like a 1 to 3 ratio of like, oh, that's the amount of verification you need to like re-verify the type of changes you're making.
Oh yeah.
Is that about the right ratio? 1 to 3?
I don't know if that's even, I don't think you can do that. I think you have to think of it a different way. Any change would have a minimum. If you do any change, you have to run through full verification. Now, if you're 100% automated, that cost is only CPU cost. But if you find any issue, then it goes on. And 1 to 3, design versus verification is not a bad ratio, but it's not that there's a baseline starting point that says, well, just 1 minute of change costs always $100, and then you can sort of pile on from there. So
got it. Yeah, that makes sense. I can see how like the 1 to 3 is too simplistic. Can you give me a sense of like what types of customization are more expensive, right? Like if you're going, so obviously moving nodes is extremely difficult to the point where it's not really something that people take on at once. But what about like changing foundries or moving between different from Synopsys to Cadence, stuff like?
Yeah, no, I think foundries that's a big change, and if the IP vendor is not already qualified and have their IP there and have to say, okay, yeah, we'll report it for you, that can be tens of man years of effort. I mean, that's a real project. You say, I can take my SerDes, I don't have it at SMIC, but I will do that for you, dear Mr. Customer. And it happens all the time. But it's not necessarily a customization. It's more like I would go and build this thing for you in that node, and then you can use it. Versus customization, when I think of it, it's more like I'm special. You need to do something special for me. Because in the case of just porting it to another foundry, now you have ported to the foundry. You didn't do it in the first place because you didn't have any customers. Now you have a customer. You can do it, but it's still within your normal. What the normal thing that you do is not custom for the customer. Custom is like I need a widget that is very uniquely shaped, and I don't have that, so now I have to go and make a lot of effort to create that one thing, and I can only sell it to you once, right?
Right. That makes sense. Can I sell it to you once? Okay. What about some of the other changes though, right? Like, what are some, can you just give me an example either from your career or like stuff that you think you see in the marketplace of customizations that people have done that, and like the kind of cost?
Yeah. There's one that, and it's a good example to use, and you get a lot of head nods if you use that example, is DFT, okay. Design for test. So
DFT?
Yeah, DFT, design for test, and DFT is in all semiconductors nowadays. I mean, you have to test it, otherwise you don't know if it works, right? So when the chip comes back, you now have to have special logic and approaches to test every transistor in that chip and all functionality. So it's in normal use, it's never turned on, but every time the chip turns on, or when you put it and you have to run the self-test on it, you're invoking these tests. And different customers may have completely different approaches to how they test. Some people are relying heavily on external testers and are doing that sort of external in. Others are using techniques with where they have built-in